Shalom, Laha Alahayim, peace to the gods, Nawathan Kal Halalyamla, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Hakodash, giving all praises to Yahweh, in the name Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit, double honors unto the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the head elders of all the camps of Great Millstone GMS who do well. Salutations, peace and blessing to the Bayath, Dawayad, the house of David, which are the predestined spirits of election, all right, which consists of starting primarily with the governing body in the kingdom to come, the 144,000, 12,000 men from each tribe of Yasha Allah, the princes of power, and the remaining 1/3 of men, women, and children rehearsing the righteous acts to the best of their ability. Shalom to the speckled bird, brothers and sisters scattered among the heathen that may look like the heathen. Shalom to the very few Akwath listening and learning in silence of subjection. This is your brother Tazapanya, Banyamyan of the Sons Yashala Camp out here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Adawan Ratizal, Lord willing. This digital epistle, spiritual commentary is edifying to the elect. So this will be a response video, all right, to kind of like a land back off of the brother from Men of Valor, Bakwar Amath. And he just came out, I think it was about 2 hours ago, which is literally on the money. You know what I mean? And the scriptures do say watch and pray. So I like to be, as soon as I see something that the spirit, kind of wake me up a little bit, I'm like, I ain't got nothing else better to be doing. Let's do a video. All right. So this is from a new guy, just subscribed, T Splee or something like that. All right. And it's facts as far as regarding Iran. They don't know. They're saying they don't know if it's a response to the Yemen strikes or whatever, but through the spirit, because the Houthis are Iran backed, this would make sense. Now there was a U.S. consulate in Iraq, okay, that supposedly was doing espionage. All right, and Iran and Iraq aren't allies, but they're both Shia, as regarding Sharia law, like with the Islamic Muslim type shit or whatever, and they're starting to like get back on terms with things and all that. And the actual prime minister of Iraq is like, we don't want no more U.S. soldiers in Iraq. He's gonna break it down a little bit. But when I was watching Bakwar Amath, I just wanted to do a quick add-on, and I'm gonna start off with this this video. All right. So I saw this on Instagram, and I just thought it was deep, kind of, copying Elder Malcolm of the beloved Elder Malcolm's style, so to speak. So this was on TikTok, okay, and this came out 1 day ago, some FTP 1312 or whatever, X 1312. All right. So I'm gonna play this, and then I'm gonna get into the video, and then we're gonna get some scriptures.
One of my best friends just told me that he's aware of somebody in the U.S. military. Just got confirmation that they're being shipped out to Israel. And they're going to be there for a year. And this person that's in the military said, and I quote, they're being sent there to clean shit up. Is it any more obvious now? Because some of you have been so out of touch with, well, it's not our problem. It's not, why don't we focus on what's going on over here? Or you're just completely ignoring what the fuck is going on. And now we're going to be physically intervening more. I know we already have in certain aspects, but if the U.S. military is planning on sending the soldiers from over there for a year to clean shit up, simple math, 1 + 1 = fucking 2. We already have an unbelievable amount of blood on our hands. and it's about to be exponentially more. Do not stop talking about Palestine. Apply pressure. Keep boycotting.
So that's pretty much it on that. So notice, he's getting sources, military sources, primary sources, saying that Babylonian soldiers is about to go, to where the least of the flock. Matter of fact, let's get a couple scriptures because he said a couple things in there. All right. So he said that he's talking about America, which is Babylon the Great, the virgin daughter of Babylon, talking about they have a lot of blood on their hands, right? Let's start here. This not what I was looking for, but this is a good one too. This is Genesis 9:6. It says, "Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of the Most High made he man." That was pretty deep. But the one I'm looking for is in Numbers. All right, because yeah, the Most High is not playing, especially in these last times, man. Let's go to is it cleansed? Salakia. Numbers 35 and 33. It says, "So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. For blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it." You see? So it kind of lines up with the Genesis verse, you see, because, Edomite's blood has to be shed, bro, when you get down into it. This is why in Isaiah chapter 63, all right, it says, "Who is he," verse 1, "that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save." You see? So, which is all symbolic of the death that is going to be coming from these Edomites, man. All right. So, and another one, just to land back on that, we have a lot of blood on our hands and we're about to have more. Pursue Salakia. Pursue. Did I not spell it right? Okay. This is Ezekiel 35 and 6. It says, "Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sit thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee." You see? So, and it's talking about the Edomites when you go into the context of Ezekiel 35, because it says prophesy against Mount Seir, okay, which would be the government of these Edomites, man, especially the top elite, man. Because remember, the military-industrial complex is nothing but the strong arm of the international banking families. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the actual news regarding this, and I'm gonna get some scriptures because, man, the Lord is ramping this thing up. Remember, this is January 15th, 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, man. You see, and we know what has to happen. Like Elder Pastor say, only 3 major prophecies left, man. All right, the chip, the deliverance and the destruction. And the deliverance and the destruction is going to happen simultaneously. All right, and I keep telling y'all, the more rumors of wars we hearing and all of this fire and the earth being kindled with all these fires, these wars going on, and we still messing with this fucking Federal Reserve note. Oh man, this shit gotta go down. So I just see I got this, like, and I speak as a man. I'm a worm. You know what I mean? I'm no elder. I'm not, but I got this eerie feeling that sooner rather than later we're gonna get the effects of this economy crashing, collapsing, man, and it's going to shake shit up. is going to really shake shit up. You know how like you could be in Target, you know, and then an earthquake. You be seeing the videos and people over here like, yo, what the fuck is going on? It's like I be having like visions of niggas just do regular whatever. Let's say on a Friday, like they say it's going to start on a Friday, and then Monday hit, and niggas is like, yo, what the hell is going on? You know what I mean? I don't know. Keep your eyes on the Levant region and on your financial news. All right, but without further ado.
The country of Iran is turning it up in the Middle East. And I'm going to get straight to the point and not waste your time. At the time of making this video, it has been confirmed on Reuters and all over the internet right now. Iran's Revolutionary Guard says they have attacked espionage centers in Erbil, Iraq. Now, if you are unaware why Iran would care so much about espionage centers within Iraq, right now Iran has a ton of momentum being allies with Iraq. Right now, the Prime Minister of Iraq has even talked about and praised Iran recently in CNN interviews and a bunch of other interviews, to the point where the current Prime Minister of Iraq, wants to kick the U.S. military out of Iraq. And right now he's backed by a ton of pro-Iranian militiamen, some good, some bad. But nonetheless, this is massive news. This is either a direct response to the U.S. military's actions in Yemen, or it's just something Iran has been planning to do. Now, something else I want to mention, it hasn't been confirmed, but just so you know, it might get confirmed at the time of making this video. There are also reports of attacks happening in Syria that also came from Iran's Revolutionary Guard, taking out IS targets who are not friends with Iran, operating in Syria, and Iran has decided to eliminate them. Now, the reason why it's confirmed, unconfirmed, and a little conflicting, again, I'm trying to give you guys accurate news, is because there's also reports of Israel conducting their own strikes near Aleppo, Syria. Syrian government officials and news agencies reported this, but there's some other conflicting news. So again, ignore that if that's not true, but just so you know, if it pops up, it's true. Nonetheless, again, this is massive news. Very, very massive. Now, there's no reports from the DoD or State Department that any U.S. personnel have been attacked directly, or we also don't know, again, if this is a direct response to try letting the U.S. military know Iran is in the region, so stay away from us. But again, right now, Iran and the U.S. military are fighting a very scary game of this proxy chess. As we know, the British and the U.S. military have taken out a ton of targets down in Yemen. And if you're asking me, why do we care about Yemen if Iran is messing with Iraq? Understand this. Iran right now is buddy-buddies with Iraq. They're buddy-buddies with the Houthis who operate out of Yemen. They're buddy-buddies with everyone in Syria and Lebanon and down in Palestine. So right now, Iran has a ton of influence, and they're trying to work the media. They're trying to get a lot of people on their side, essentially to kick the U.S. presence out of the Middle East. At the end of the day, the number one group right now stopping Iran from getting straight to Israel is the U.S. military. A lot of people are very anti-U.S. military in the Middle East, and that's okay. That's your opinion. A lot of people are pro-U.S. military in the Middle East. But the biggest issue right now for the U.S. military, there's no clear-cut answer as to why anyone is there right now. But again, if U.S. forces were to get attacked, they haven't been, but if they were, this probably would have instigated something really, really bad. I don't even want to say the word. I don't want to say the word war. I don't want to say the word conflict, but it could have been. I think Iran is smart enough to know to not engage directly with the U.S. military because they don't have to. They have people like Iran's Revolutionary Guard. They have other groups who quite literally operate throughout the Middle East and train militia groups to fight Western assets, whether U.S. military, whether Saudi Arabia, and whether Israel. So again, it has been confirmed by Iran's Revolutionary Guard that they have taken out targets of espionage. So I just wanted to lay down the framework and foundation as to why they care so much about Iraq. Pay attention to Iraq. I'm almost positive I just talked about this in a very recent video talking about Yemen. Right now, Iraq is certainly popping up, but not in the way that you would imagine like back in 2003 or the mid-2000s. Do not expect some sort of ground campaign or ground war. I think in Afghanistan, the Taliban sort of let everyone know and showed the world that you can't fight the U.S. military one-on-one, but you can extend a conflict 3 presidents later And eventually, the U.S. military is just going to get tired. They're not necessarily going to quit, but they're not going to get the full funding from the government or the people to stay in the war. So right now, this does seem to look like the strategy for Iran. One thing I will say that's quite different, we also have major flip-flopping in military strategy and tactics. Typically, the U.S. military are the ones that are really aggressive with their war tactics. The issue with Iraq right now, there is a policy that the U.S. military is not allowed to be in active ground campaigns or be on the assault. They're only allowed to defend themselves. So right now, Iran can quite literally do whatever they want in Iraq, taking out espionage centers. Now, I'm not saying that the DoD or the State Department has anything to do with these espionage centers, but if I had to make an educated guess, of course the U.S. military, or really the government, is going to be in favor of espionage centers who are anti-Iran. And again, remember, in Iraq, they're not necessarily super pro-Iran, but the majority of the country are Shia. The majority of the country in Iran are Shia. So it only makes sense for two Islamic countries who share a common practice in religious beliefs and government beliefs to start to form together and to be allies once again in the Middle East. Again, straight from the Prime Minister himself, and I made a video on this already, on the U.S. military getting kicked out of Iraq. He knows the only way for the United States to get kicked out of Iraq is if the war in Israel ends. And he's even saying that war is never going to end. So let's just kick the U.S. military out now. So let us see what happens. In my opinion, I think we're going to start to see these really weird clandestine strikes from Iran, because I think Iran is realizing that we are already sanctioned and we should have enough backing from China, enough backing from Russia. We don't have to worry about the economic sanctions from the West. Let us do what we're going to do. Let us keep controlling all of our factions throughout the Middle East because it seems to be working. These factions will never, ever be able to actually beat the U.S. military indefinitely, but what they will be able to do is to cause confusion and to cause doubt for the U.S. military strategy. And look, the Houthis are doing a really good job at this because they actually managed to take out or to strike a civilian ship, a U.S. civilian ship, and nobody got hurt. They got away with it. Again, I made a recent video on that. But again, this proves that as long as these clandestine strikes can happen, they're just going to drag in a war, and we all know Biden doesn't want a war, and the United States does not want a war. Not after Afghanistan, not after Iraq. So again, strikes in Erbil from the Iran's Revolutionary Guard to take out espionage centers. That's currently what's happening at the time of making this video.
So let's get some scriptures, because that was a lot. All right. And hey, Shalom, everybody tuning in to the brother Endure the Last Days 4, the brother Labanah, Shalom, Shalom. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, starting at verse 29. I'll start at verse 28. It says, behold, a horrible vision. See, so Ezra, through the Spirit, coming from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right, was getting a vision. And not only was it a regular vision, it was a horrible vision. Okay? So Ezra saw this, all right, and it says, and the appearance thereof, all right, from the east. You see? So he saw this coming as it was coming from the east. Verse 29, it says, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So you see all of these different Islamic nations, all right, because remember Arab or Arab, all right, it just means mingled people, okay? And the true Arabians, so-called Arabians, are Ishmaelites, and Ishmael was a dark-skinned man. Just throwing that out there. I got a couple books on that. And Ishmael has mingled his seed, you see what I'm saying, amongst all these other little nations, you know, your Syrians, your Assyrians, your, you know, what would it be? Like even the Midianites and your so on and so forth, right? Because Syrian is Aram, how would you pronounce it? Aramean, like from Aram, all right, where you get the term Aramaic, all right. and which eventually evolved into Syriac, talking about the languages, but at first was talking about the nations. But continuing on, I know I'm a little bit all over the place. It says, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmenians. Who are the Carmenians? Your Persians, which is now known as your Iranians. Okay, it says raging in wrath. So Iran is raging in wrath right now. Okay, it says, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them. See, so just like how he said, all right. So let's just say if Iraq was mostly Ishmael, okay, those Persians would be biblically Elamites. Okay, so it's two different nations, but yet is willing to join because they both have the same religious, background of Ishmael, okay, and is willing to do that. And then through the spirit, like the wild boars, right? What is the characteristic of a wild boar? All right. I used to live in Guam. My mom's was in the military, and they'll eat that shit. You feel me? Swamp is a cousin of the pig and all of that, but they be in the fucking jungle and shit, right? And they got the little horns coming out their mouth or whatever, But the Japhetic peoples, because that's all of your Polynesian type of culture people. You feel me? They love that boar meat, that swine meat. You see, but they would have like little hunting games, a rite to passage for like kids just turning 12, and they have to go hunt a boar and chase the shit. You feel me? All day. You know what I mean? And then there's a big ass feast that they do or whatever. So the point is that a wild boar is swift, and it's like you can't catch it. You know what I mean? Like it runs from you, and it might even attack you if you corner it in or whatever. So through spirit, like he said, all of these little proxies that seems to be indirectly but connected to Iran, those is like the wild boars, whether it be the what did he said, the Revolutionary Guard, the Houthis, you see, so on and so forth. You see. And they're gonna be coming with great power because at the end of the day, because remember in Ezekiel 38, Gog and Magog is gonna be unto a guard unto them. So who do you think financially would be helping them? You see what I'm saying with it? Russia, man. You see what I'm saying? See, you have to know the scriptures and it's all biblical. All right, it says, and join battle with them and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. What is the land of the Assyria modern day? It's America, man. Okay, all right. Like is Isaiah, the rod of his anger, talking about the Assyrians and all that. These Americans, man, and that's what we've been getting, which is us bearing the indignation of the Lord of the oppression that has been coming from them, and through the spirit. Spiritually, America is, many things, but in this case right here, Nineveh and Assyria. Okay, verse 31, and I'll end it on this. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand. You see, so notice it said multiple. This is why he said they could spread them out, and that by them spreading them out is going to weaken them thin. This is the same thing that happened to the Roman Empire. They had conflicts over here, conflicts over there. They didn't have enough money and enough backing from the people and things of that nature to fund all of these soldiers in all these different places, man. You see? So there's nothing new under the sun. So, there's so much fighting going on right now. You got the North Korea, South Korea, the Russia, Ukraine, the Hamas, Palestine, Israel. All right. Now, Yemen is involved, Syria is involved, Lebanon is involved, Iran is involved. You got talks with Ethiopia and Somalia going to war. You got talks with Guyana and Venezuela going to war. You got the talks of, Egyptian versus Egyptian here in America, civil war going on. Yo, it's almost that time, man. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much on that and second address. I think there was one more thing I wanted to get. All right. Regarding, this. Oh, yeah. Let's go to the book of Obadiah and then Joel, and then we'll close it out. This is Obadiah 1 and 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and the understanding out of the mount of Esau? You see, so when he said that all the military strategies is flip-flop, you know, you want to go hard this way, then this way you want to back out. You feel me? America is seen as weak to on the global stage, man. You know, and they're attacking that weakness, talking about the enemies of Babylon. And it's all through the spirit, and it's partly, mostly, should I say, because Yahweh Shai is one prophesied that a kingdom divided against itself shall not stand. So one presidency with the backing of certain, you know, international banking families, they want this type of strategy to go in, and then another one comes in with a different type of banking family funding them. Then they want, you know, this strategy to go in. You know, so it's just completely crumbling before our eyes, man. Okay, there's no more wisdom out of Esau, man. You feel me? It's completely done. The Lord is showing this. You know what I'm saying, across the world. So we're gonna continue to see more and more of this. But remember, the end is not yet, like Yahweh Shai said, for you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. For this is the beginning of sorrows, but the end, you know, is not yet. Roughly paraphrasing in Matthew 24. Because, and this is why I said through the Spirit, man, this, they have to do something. And I believe personally, speaks of men, you know, it's going to be something with the financial, you know, shit. You feel me? You remember Davos just started right today with the WEF and all of that. And Elder Pastor Hall said, you know, listen out if they talking about the MOTB. So I'm gonna try to watch some clips here and there. I do follow them on YouTube. They be having some long, you know, videos or whatever. But while all of this is ramping up, oh yeah, I did say about was it Joel? No, Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah 49. 50 and 45. It says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he had taken against Babylon and his purposes, and he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans, which is America. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. The least of the flock is who? Your Amalekites out there in the state of, you know, Israeli. Okay, it says, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. You see, so they're bringing out Babylon. All right. That's why I showed the TikTok video. You got a 1 week notice to certain American soldiers that they're gonna have to stay 1 year over there in Small Hat Land. You see what I'm saying? So the least of the flock is literally drawing them out, and you know, America going to get there. Who you think is going to be like, nah? And I think too, through the spirit, you feel me? You know, when you come in talking about conventional wars, all these Islamic nations are going to come together, and Russia having that complete ally with Iran and all of that. You know, you can't just go through the borders bringing tanks, drones, you know, armies or whatever, if you're not allies with them. So if everybody's eventually going to meet in the Valley of Yahweh Shaphat, you see what I'm saying? You know, I'm wondering if, you know, through Europe, through the NATO countries, America is going to be going through there, through the Mediterranean Sea to get to, you know, the Small Hat Land, and then Russia and all those other countries that is aligned on that BRICS is going to be going through the allied areas, whether it be Iran, that Iraqish, Syria type, you know, land or whatever, you know. So that's just a thought, you know what I mean? We'll see how it play out. But I'm gonna end it on that, man. I don't want to rock the Zod. I was edifying to the elect. This thing is ramping up. Yeah, all right. This thing is ramping up. All right. Through the spirit. I want to give all praises, honor, glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Hakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua. Until the next time, Shalom.